Welcome back to Politics 2016. Dave Barry along with Mayor Lynn Hall. Lynn, the previous council was probably known for its exclusiveness as compared to this council's inclusiveness. A lot of reaching out and discussions before some of the major decisions are made. But when do we go too far with that type of approach?
You know, Dave, I'm not sure we can go too far. I campaign strongly on a reconnection to the community, and all of council certainly are of that mind. We're trying to get council out into the public more. That was certainly shown when we went to the Talktober events. We held community meetings just to try to get a sense and a flavor for what was the most important, or some of the most important things on people's minds in various areas of the community. So we started with the heart region, and you know, I just don't think you can do that too often or too much. I think you can perhaps at times, you don't want to do it 2 or 3 times a year, and that's not what we're looking at doing. We looked at doing it once in this current year, and we'll look at going back to those communities again next year. I think it's just an opportunity for council to be more in tune with what's going on in the community. So there were those, but there's also council, you know, individually and collectively. We're out at a number of things throughout the week, the weekends, major events. It's just important. It's important to have that, you know, that visual appearance in our community, so that people can come up to us wherever we are and have an opportunity to, you know, chat with us.
But is there a point where you begin to overtax staff when you put aside a decision because you'd like the staff to come back with a more thorough report?
Well, let me talk 2 things. One is those Talktober events. You're right, we're only going to have them once a year because we know that it takes a tremendous amount of staff time. When we talk about putting stuff from a council meeting onto the staff to do a little bit more work, I think that's just being proactive. We're not delaying decisions because we want to. We just feel that we need more information. And I think that when a council feels as if they need more information before they make a decision, then there's nothing wrong at all with moving that on to administration to do some more work on. But we're pretty mindful about what we move over to administration. And we haven't done a tremendous amount of that in this first year.
This council hasn't been shy to take issues which would be seen as out of its realm and acting on them. The Syrian refugee crisis got involved in that. Another one, even the grocery stores bringing in alcohol sales, a move by the provincial government. At what point, though, does council kind of overextend itself? We do talk about offloading, how the provincial government and the federal government offloads. We're almost doing the same thing in a way. We're inviting offloading by getting involved in those subjects, aren't we?
Well, you know, it's a fine line, I suppose, Dave, but we're not inviting any offloading. We've got enough to take care of, and we certainly aren't asking for more. But I think when there's a specific issue that impacts our community, then we need to step to the plate and we need to make comment on it. And that's what's happened with the Syrian refugee issue, and that's not just Prince George, that's the entire province. This issue went to UBCM and was, you know, discussed and debated pretty vigorously at in that forum. Liquor, another piece that impacts our community. We need to speak to that. So I think that you know, this council is not going to shy away from those issues that put us on the front page. We need to respond to them, and that's what we've done in these 2 particular issues that you bring up.
Cohesiveness. Let's talk a little bit about the cohesiveness of this council, because it does seem like this council gets along better, perhaps, to put it bluntly, gets along better than the last council did. So is that good? Because conflict at the same time is good too, at a certain level.
Well, I think we do get along.
Yeah.
I think there's a great deal of respect around that table for each one of us as council members, and that's an important piece. But we're not shy of putting our feelings on the table and taking a position when it certainly doesn't match the position of another councillor, and we've had some great debates. So I think it's for me, and I've been involved a long time with the school board and now with council. It's healthy. I certainly like the idea that debate happens. We don't always agree with each other. We get along and we're respectful. I think that provides a real cohesive group, and it's issue to issue. In the new year, there may be an issue that comes to the table that really tests us and tasks us, and it's a considerable amount of debate. And there's nothing wrong with that, nothing wrong at all.
In previous councils that appeared to get along, in the public view anyways, I was once told about how sometimes in-camera discussions become discussions that should be held in public.
Yeah.
Now, how do you prevent that from happening with a council that gets along as cohesively as this one does?
Well, we're pretty vigilant about that, and making certain that we don't step over that boundary. And we always ask ourselves, all right, in this discussion, should this be taken, and can we take it to the public? And really, we follow a couple rules of thumb. If it's got anything to do with land, if it's got anything to do with HR, we're staying in camera. But we're very vigilant about making sure that we don't cross that line, because certainly, as you know, there's been some subjects that we have deliberately brought out of there, out of a closed session into the public realm. And I'll tell you, we try to bring as much as possible into the public.
Okay, we're going to come back. We're going to talk about 2016 when we come back with the mayor.